Hi, welcome to episode 4 of the Beat the First Man vodcast. Can't believe we've managed to crack out 4 episodes already, along with the extra times. Then we're flying through them. So, quick update on subscribers, etc. So we're up to 42 subscribers on the YouTube channel, which is great news. The Facebook group, we fell agonisingly short of the target. So 97 members on the Facebook group, so just 3 short of the target that we wanted to hit. But a great effort, so thanks for all those that have joined. I hope you're enjoying it so far. This week's challenge will come a bit later on. It's a bit of an easier one, to be honest. It's just literally the click of one button and that's it, job done. So what have we got for you this week? So we'll have Shouty Little Man and his usual thoughts. I'm just looking down to check my notes. You know it is. All this is the same every week. Ted will be back, our Hollywood star, with his Little Knob of the Week award, which the nominations came in for, no problem whatsoever. Guests versus Knowledge, where we'll be featuring the Merseyside derby. And of course the European Cup and the UEFA Cup, and I promised you of how your team could win the European Cup or the UEFA Cup in its new form that I am creating starting this evening. So on with the show, and as always it's time first of all for a bit of this. No dancing this week. Tales of the unexpected. So we've been all around so far. We've been to Thailand. We've been to, where else we go? The Netherlands. But it's back to the UK. I'm taking you down to Devon. And this is an absolute belter. I have to say, I loved typing this up as my notes. And I'll have to go to the notes because it's just brilliant and I can't get it wrong. So it's the fortunes of a club called Stoke Gabriel FC. They play in the South West Peninsula League, Premier Division East. So since COVID came, they've lost a lot of players, they've lost coaches, and literally they wanted to keep themselves at the highest level they could keep themselves at. So rather than just accept a relegation and play lower down, they decided to stay in the league they're in, but play with youngsters. So they've a team full of sort of 16-year-olds to 18-year-olds, excuse me, and to see how it went. So let's have a little look through how it went. It's fair to say, probably not as they planned. So they started the season, it didn't lay down a great marker when they went down to a 15-0 defeat to Torresage. That was their first game of the season. A week later, they did show a slight improvement, but they fell to a 13-0 defeat to Crediton United. So 2 games in, 2 almighty hammerings. A week on, the goals kept flowing as they lost 8-0 to Newton Abbot Spurs. So don't forget, as of yet, they still not scored a goal. And just when you thought the scores are coming down, wham, 14-0 defeat to Torrington. This obviously hit their confidence and, you thought it might improve from there, but nope. 15-0 to Millbrook, 13-0 to Columpton Rangers. So week after week, it's just the same old story. But a week later, they scored a goal. Yes, they did. So a week later, they played a team called Bovey Tracy. They scored a goal and they went down in a 19-goal thriller. Yeah, about that 19-goal thriller. Bovey Tracy got 18 of them and they got the 1. So, but at least they scored, so they're off the mark. So the week after, guess what? They scored again. Yes, they managed to score, but sadly they let in another 9, although they did keep it to single figures against Elberton Villa. The 7th of October. Now here is a landmark for you. This is where they finally started to make some serious progress. So it's a game against Ivy Bridge Town. Did they get their first draw or win? No, of course they didn't. Don't be so silly. So at half time, though, it was 0-0. So at half time, they were level. Imagine the half time team talk. Come on, boys, keep it up. Get back out there. We can do this. They failed to defeat, but it was only 3-0. So it's their best result of the season by far, a 3-0 defeat. Well, I think they might have celebrated a little bit too long because 3 days later, they were back in action against Plymouth Marjon. I don't know if that's pronounced French. It could be Marjon or something like that, but I'm going with Marjon. Yeah, they lost 14-0. But they don't have a lot of luck this side. So at half time, they were 4-0 down. They came out after the break. They conceded 3 goals in the first 5 minutes. So suddenly it's 7-0. They made 3 substitutions. And within about 5 or 10 minutes, sadly, one of their players collided with the pitchside barriers, concussed himself, and was taken off. So they were down to 10 men. And what happened? Inevitably, the floodgates opened, 14-0. So let's just give a quick update of where their season is. Played 10, won, nah. Drawn, nah. Lost 10, scored 2, conceded 122. Wow, there's a start to the season. But this was brilliant. This quote genuinely almost made my week. So Chairman Gary Page, they've made a few new signings. They've added some players to the squad. And I quote, "If we end up mid-table this season, we will be quite happy. We aren't looking to win any leagues or cups, although it'd be nice to win a cup." Yeah, I bet it would. Be nice to win a match, even draw a match. But there you go. So good luck to Stoke Gabriel FC. I, for one, am going to be just seeing how they get on in future weeks. I suggest you all do the same. Let's get on and follow them on Twitter and follow them on Facebook. Let's get behind them and show them that Beat the First Man Vodcast is going to be well behind Stoke Gabriel FC for the rest of the season. So little shouty man and his gripe for the week. So the obvious thing, I mean, it'd be boring. I'm not going to do it. The obvious thing is to do pay-per-view or the Premier League Big Two wanting to set up some sort of breakaway and reduce the Premier League, etc., etc. Both of which, by the way, are utterly despicable. But we ain't talking about that. Shouty little man has got a far more serious issue than that. Players that wear tape around their wrists. Why? It's not a sweatband. It's a piece of tape. What are you doing with that piece of tape? What's it for? And whenever they get substituted, the tape gets undone and thrown on the side. That tape, it's not holding a sleeve in place. It's not holding your wrist in. Does your hand fall off if you don't wear that tape? What's it for? I don't get it. Have you got your instructions on the tape of run down wing, cross ball, get in middle? You know, is that what it's for? I don't know. So there you go. Shouty little man, tape on wrists, pay-per-view, despicable. Don't spend $14.95 on a game, whatever you do. If you do, you're only feeding into it. And trust me, it's what they want. That is what they're desperate for every single week. Do not spend £15 on pay-per-view. Rant over. So guess versus knowledge. Guess who's back in the game? Knowledge is back in the game. So last week I got my first correct score. I managed to predict that Peterborough would win at Northampton, which meant that it's now back to guess one, knowledge one, as Tracy had predicted that there would be a draw. So this week we've chosen the Merseyside derby. So Everton flying high at the top of the league, won every single game against reigning champions Liverpool, who are coming off the back of that heavy defeat they received at Aston Villa. So, Tracy, I think it's only fair I share with you her first thoughts on the game. So I texted her and said, we're doing Everton v Liverpool, started to think about it. I got back, oh God. I don't know whether that's oh God, I got no idea who those are. No God, I don't know what the score's going to be. Anyway, she's gone for a high scoring Merseyside derby. She's gone for Everton 2, Liverpool 3. So prediction of goals there. So you can, if you fancy some goals, watch Sky if you want to listen to guess. So knowledge, clearly me. I'm going for a draw. I think Everton have got enough about them to get something out of this game. And I don't think Liverpool have started great. The one thing that I think will hurt Everton in this game, if Richarlison's not fit and Allan's not fit, then I do think that's going to hurt them in this game. I think it'll catch up. And Liverpool are going to have Mane back as well, so they'll be stronger. However, I do believe at both ends of the pitch, both sides have got absolute liabilities. Pickford in goal for Everton, Adrian in goal for Liverpool, because Alisson's not going to be fit. So there's no way it's a 0-0. Absolutely no way are both of those keeping clean sheets. So I'm going for a 1-1 draw. So Tracy's got a chance. If Liverpool win, Tracy will go in front. But I'm putting my neck on the line. I'm going Everton 1, Liverpool 1. Let's see how that pans out. And don't forget, we always do the extra time update where you can find out how it's come out. So last week we introduced the Hollywood star, as you know, Ted. Some people rather brilliantly said that Ted was not a Hollywood star and was just a random teddy bear. said he is Ted, and he'll have words with anyone who says he isn't. As you know, I couldn't get the speaking Ted. We couldn't afford him, so he has to talk through me. And Ted started his own award, as you know, which was Ted's Little Knob of the Week. Last week it was Oliver Dowden for his refusal to let fans in. This week through social media we did have some nominations, which was nice. One from a disgruntled England fan, mainly my son, for Gareth Southgate, but it's not him. We had one for the guy from Sky, whose name I've completely forgotten. Richard Oakey, sorry, I've forgotten his name, who was helping to push through the pay-per-view along with his cohorts at BT Sport. But they've not won it. I put forward the ex-England women's striker, Aluko, who rather brilliantly put on Twitter saying, why are people complaining about $14.95 for pay-per-view when they'll spend 30 quid going to a match? And her words were, it's the same product. No, you don't really get it, do you? It's really not. So she nearly got it. But I've spoken to Ted, and Ted just confirmed to me who your winner is. What, all of them? Okay, so this week he's given it to a club. A whole football club has won Ted's Little Knob of the Week. And that football club is Crewe Alexandra FC. So a couple of weeks ago they were due to play Oxford United in a League One fixture. They travelled down and rather brilliantly, half an hour before kickoff, they got a result of one of the players' COVID tests back, and he tested positive. Now, was that player self-isolating at home, waiting for his test results? No, he was there at the ground. Incredible, absolutely incredible. So the game was rearranged. I think the Football League, to be fair, I'm a big critic of the EFL, but on this occasion, I think, they were probably fair to both parties to rearrange it. So it was due to be played this week in midweek, and on the day of the game, guess what? Positive COVID test. And the game got called off about 3 hours before kickoff. What an absolute shambles that really is. It's just not good enough. We all know that the footballers in general, I have to say, that obviously the bad ones get highlighted, the Tammy Abraham birthday parties, etc. But in general, footballers are pretty good in sticking to the protocols. They still have to do the everyday stuff that we do. They still have to go shopping. They still have to put petrol in their cars. So they're still at risk of catching it. But at the end of the day, there's got to be a bit of common sense. And if the clubs themselves are allowing, players who are having a test to travel down to the game, Jesus Christ, hang your heads in shame. So Ted's Little Knob of the Week award goes to a whole football club. Crewe Alexandra FC join Oliver Dowden. Ted will be back next week with his Little Knob of the Week. What's that, Ted? And he said he wants more nominations. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, however you want to send them, and he'll choose. Oh, okay. Cheers, Ted. Bye. Bye. Right, Ted's off. He's done. So last but not least, the new feature. So this will run every single episode. And this is how your team, whoever you support, can be European Cup holders or UEFA Cup holders. So obviously we had the change of name to the Champions League and the Europa League. They can stay. They can carry on doing their shiz on BBC, on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays. This is where it gets real. This is the proper European Cup and UEFA Cup. So how's it going to work? Okay, so last year's Champions League winners were Bayern Munich. So they will automatically become the reigning champions of the European Cup. They will hold the European Cup. And in the style of boxing, whoever they play next is challenging them for the European Cup. That will start in their first Champions League group game. So I can't actually remember who they're playing. So their first Champions League group game, whoever it is, so I think it's only fair that they start it in that. That's who they'll play. So let's say, for sake of argument, they were playing Barcelona. If Barcelona beat Bayern Munich, Barcelona would take the European Cup. They will be the holders. They go back to Spain. They play in the league. Let's say they play, for sake of argument, Atletico Madrid and lost. Atletico Madrid would be the European Cup holders, and so on and so on. If it's a draw, the team who held the cup will retain the cup and they will stick with it until they're beaten. And it'll only count in European Cup competitions, league competitions, and domestic cup competitions, excluding the EFL trophy, because any cup competition that includes under 23s is just a nonsense anyway, so that won't count. So you can hear you saying, well, I support, Lincoln City, how are they ever going to win it? Well, this is where it could get interesting. So Seville, for instance, play Chelsea. Seville are the current UEFA Cup holders under my new rules. They play Chelsea in the Champions League I think it's next week they play. So let's say Chelsea were to beat Seville. That means the UEFA Cup comes back to England. Chelsea win it. They may lose to somebody. Let's say that come January, Newcastle are the holders. Newcastle draw Lincoln in the FA Cup. Lincoln beat Newcastle. Lincoln are the European Cup holders until they lose their next game. So hopefully you get the idea. I will try and refresh it as we go along. It will be easier when they start playing the games that count. So essentially at the moment, the European Cup holders are Bayern Munich and the UEFA Cup holders are Seville. And we'll update that as we go along every single week. Hopefully that makes perfect sense and you'll see how any club can win the European Cup and the UEFA Cup. That's it for this week. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope I've given you some little fun moments in there and stuff that you like. This week's challenge is purely to get the likes up on Instagram. So we have launched our own Instagram page, which is beat_the_first_man. I have requested follows of a few people that I know that are on there anyway. So if you suddenly get a follow from Beat the First Man, you're thinking, who the hell's this? That's me. What you will get on Instagram is every now and then you might get a bit of exclusive content that we're not going to put on any other social media page. So there might just be little snippets which will go on there, which won't go on the live shows on YouTube, won't go on Facebook, won't go on Twitter. So it's going to be a little thing just for Instagram. So if you don't want to miss out on any of it, get followed up on Instagram. And say that's it. Once again, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for all those who are subscribing, all those who comment. Please keep it coming. The social media interaction, I love it. Unless you're a troll, then don't bother. Move on. Go and troll Guardian Football Weekly or something. And one last thing. There's a lad who follows me on Twitter who comments quite a lot. I think his name's Mateus. Mateus, if I've said that wrong, I'm really sorry. And he asked about one day would I name my 5 favourite albums. I don't want to commit to anything like that. So all I'm going to say, Mateus, is definitely maybe. See you next week. Take care.